Last week we got demos from Mathis about Swagger Open API. I'm not sure what I showed. Dean, he's not here. There's so many things to show us. Headless, I don't know what it is. Sitemaps update, tags, which is ready. I need to review it. I didn't have time. Perf talks last week. Then today is December, and if I open Git, who has demos today? Antoine, do you want to show some things?
No.
No. Do you want to talk about some things?
Maybe.
Maybe. And Orchard one. There were some commits. What do we have here? So last week was 26. So we have making click to build compatible with. We didn't have triage last week, so there was nothing merged. And we talked about it, making click to build compatible with VS 2019. Then this one, maybe I should do fetch. No, it was automatically resolved. Fetch. This one is crazy. So 26. Dev branch is red, orange, then red, orange. Orange 26, 26, 26, 26. Orange, fix no reference exception, GetContentItemIdAsync. GetContentItemIdAsync, it could be null, so let's return. So no reference exception from Jean-Philippe. By the way, Jean-Philippe's not here, we have Antoine, Justin, blah blah. Fix IShellConfiguration documentation. An alternate was wrong. Reduce allocation in Invoke pattern. I think that's what I showed last week. It's merged. btn-toolbar class to icon picker. Okay. Fix liquid editors overflow. When you will type some long text in the liquid editors, they will just grow, and that's bad. So we fix that. List query helpers. So very nice addition, because it was missing something. We said, okay, you could add it. I made a PR, so two different filters and helpers to execute, well, to list the items of a list part. So query list item async and query list items count async to count them only with a custom predicate. And there are the liquid helpers also, I think. There are no liquid helpers. There are liquid helpers. List count filter, which is list count and list items. Okay, thank you. Then these PRs, small unit test fix. Okay, yeah, this is based on the command from last week. Array.empty. Remember, if you need to create an empty array, just use array.empty because it will use a singleton instance. Templates UI, so updates to the different pages with the new list UI from Antoine. Queries UI, same thing. Include AD recipe step and updated the docs. Active directory recipe steps. Okay. Because apparently it was missing. Updated the themes admin view to better support strings localization. I have no idea what it is, but Antoine knows. So this is the current theme, is admin. Oh, maybe because of some comments I made, that this is wrong. Yeah, so yeah, try not to have some strings that can also be localized as parameters. Just do 2 static strings, and then yeah, ifs. So good job. Rename default to current in themes. I think to make it consistent, that's what we use everywhere, so Antoine saw that. Remove extra S's in content field docs. Okay. Fix Trumbowing settings display. Okay. Trumbowing editor settings, I assume. No. The setting.
Yes.
Yes. Remove extra S's again in the doc. Add credits for YesSQL and Serilog. Why would you do that? Who needs credits? And then Serilog. Okay. What? Oh, that's a PR. I was like, I just thought that this is no, and Dev is done. No, Dev is here. Okay. So I was about to ask someone to do a PR. So Antoine did that. Good job. So 3.1 has been released. So now we have Travis that is using it. Okay, Abeyor. How do you do that in Abeyor? That won't work because it's a comment. On Abeyor we rely on the base image. So this won't work. Or uncomment to download the specific version. So if you really want to download a specific version of .NET that is not yet available on Abeyor, then you need to uncomment these 3 lines. Well, these 2 lines. And then also be sure that, or maybe it's necessary because if we run it, if you look at the PR, let's look at the PR. There is a PR for that?
Yes.
Sure, you pasted the link, but it will be easy to go there. I will show you something. It fails, so probably Abeyor, exactly. And let's look at something because the 3.1 can't be found. You see here, that's the reason I do that. The first step I do is .NET-version to see what's the version of that is shipped with the image that we use in Abeyor, and it's 3.0. Obviously, they didn't have time to update yet the image. So this means that this is necessary to do the thing you did, but also uncomment these 2 lines. Okay? And one day when we see that this is showing 3.1 out of the box, then we won't need to download it again. Okay, and then the references to all the ASP.NET Core packages, and probably also I think so. This is NetCorp 3.1. All the projects are this. Maybe we should use a variable. Not in the templates, but at least in our projects. And then the templates are updated. Okay, so that's it. That's the only change to do. Updates, questions, comments, questions and comments. I saw a question. Question about third-party module naming. Do we have an advisory? So the only thing I can say is that if you look for Orchard core, you will find stuff, and you see here the ID prefix of this package has been reserved for one of the owners of this package by NuGet.org. So everything that you see starting with Orchard core, you can't do it. I own it. Ha 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 ha. It's to prevent. So I did that, I think, at the beginning of when the first time we shipped NuGet.org. People had already deployed some Orchard core modules on NuGet because we had not done it for the beta versions, and they wanted it on NuGet. So they pushed it on NuGet. And then we could not push it by ourselves because the package IDs were already taken. So we talked to them and they removed it. NuGet.org deleted the packages and we uploaded ours. And then we reserved the prefix Orchard core. So nobody can name something Orchard core.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you try, you won't be able to.
Yeah, it won't work. No, but that's good. Then that answers my question. So if I were to implement a third-party module, I will just use the name of whatever feature it provides. But I also don't think it makes sense to so they do they suffix with Orchard core.
That works. Not sure you want that, or you can use your own prefix.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you have a tag with Orchard core, that might help. Maybe we should make it mandatory to have some tags in the.
Yo, maybe we should have a separate host for
no
hosting extension. No, why not?
I don't want that. We have it for the Orchard one, right? Gallery.orchardproject.net. I don't want that because, well, for now, okay, I'm starting lean, like don't do many things. So this is a NuGet gallery.
Yeah,
maybe
because
Orchard one.
I have made a NuGet server module in Orchard core.
Well, you can. Good, awesome. I'm
no,
just saying,
way back. So.
Yeah, so it's totally fine to have your own servers, to put your own modules for your companies and markets, like Ask Sipke, he's done that. He's got a market with NuGet packages and everything. So I'm totally fine with that. I'm just saying, for us at least, I don't want our main packages to be on specific galleries.
No, I mean extensions on, let's say, the RC one, even that.
Yeah, because oh, I'm sorry. I have someone who rang the door. So please talk together, ask yourself a question, and I'm back in a few minutes.
No worries.
But you can make an app store for your own, but it's going to be hard to maintain all those versions across all those modules, I think, to keep it compliant.
So I missed what you were suggesting. Can you repeat or summarize?
So host a separate NuGet feed with extensions on Orchard core, because they get drowned in NuGet.
I see. So, yeah, because not an Orchard core NuGet package wouldn't work in any MVC application without also installing Orchard core dependencies.
Yeah, so hosting your like this discuss on Orchard core, it gets drowned in all the packages. So I don't think NuGet would be. Is there any way to filter this on packages that rely on orchard.module.target?
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How?
So my what I suggested in the beginning is that we don't have to host packages by ourselves, so we don't have to maintain a gallery and everything. And what we can do though is a repository, a list of modules. So a gallery, but not hosting the NuGet package, just where you will,
just pointing.
yes, you will add an entry and say, okay, my package is there, and the GitHub is there, and you can explain what it does, and yeah, you just maintain the listing of the things.
But is there a way in NuGet to search for packages that rely on orchardcore.module.targets?
No, but you could add, we could have, so first we could have a convention that when people want to push Orchard Core modules, they add tags like Orchard Core, and then it will work, it will find it. That's one way. If you want to search in nuget.org. And for instance, here, if I type that, I'm sure I will find discuss for sure at some point. It's not at the top, but it will find it. Then, if we have the gallery as a directory of pointers to nuget.org or to GitHub, then you just go to this gallery. It's not a NuGet gallery, it's a modules gallery. And we can have all the categories we want, and people can publish what they want. They just point to the NuGet packages where it is, because yeah, that's their own gallery, or nuget.org or myget or whatever. We can just provide a gallery. A gallery.
Yeah, we started out with I made a NuGet server in Orchard Core. We started out with that, but we moved to myget.
Okay.
And yeah.
But if you made a module, that's also great. I'm sure people would love to be able to host a NuGet gallery with an Orchard module. That would make sense. But I don't want to have to maintain.
I can understand. But if we can find a way to, maybe we could just provide. If you guys say, okay, we support it officially, then you'll get all kinds of questions about third-party libraries that you recommend. So yeah, it's complicated.
So I think NPM is the same way, right? They don't. I'm not sure. They don't own. They don't host the packages. They just point to where they are. Maybe it's different because maybe that's it. So you don't push stuff on NPM. You just update the version.
I think actually you do push to NPM.
Okay, so I didn't say anything then. There is what was the example I gave? There was something like this. Can't remember. Yeah, but the idea would be to have a site like this where you just explain what it is and then point to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but then you would have compatibility issues with the module. It could pull in some library and you can get conflicts.
We'll always have it on NuGet, on non-NuGet, on whatever. We'll have it. Like what version of Orchard is it depending on, and is it compatible with?
Is it compatible?
So
let's say we.
But we solved it already. It's solved. You can ask all the things you want. We have 10 years of experience and we know how to solve it. Okay. And some things have been solved, like in Orchard 1 we have compatibility versions, and we also designed how the gallery should be to set what versions they are compatible with. This was the goal of the project. So when you go in the module, we could say, so we design what you see, like these are the versions that are available, but we said we should also display what minimum version of Orchard is compatible with. And this will be a known metadata, so that when you would list that, you will know that this is not compatible with your version of Orchard. So these are
something like this would be nice for Orchard Core, and as you say, it would point to the physical packages on NuGet, or wherever developers choose to upload.
Today is not a big issue because we have discussed. And that's it, right? So I'm kidding, but yeah, there are no modules for Orchard right now out of the ones we made in Core.
Yeah.
And there are some companies who have them on GitHub, and didn't push a NuGet package. And so it's still something, yeah, we have to work on, but so far it's not a big issue.
Okay. So I like that Antoine suffixed his module with Orchard Core. Would it make sense for us to provide a recommendation so that if developers care about a consistent naming convention, they can apply it? Or do you think that we shouldn't care about that?
We can, yeah, because people will wonder, what should I name my thing?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
If we can prevent them from having to think too much, if they don't care.
The less we have to think, the better.
Yeah, we can have something in documentation for publishing a module, creating a module, publishing a module, some ideas of naming convention they could use, examples. And at least mention that, yeah, you should have a tag with Orchard Core.
Yeah.
In your package, so we can find it on NuGet. Yeah, it's always better to suggest things. They don't have to, but
yeah. So maybe a suggestion would be to suffix using Orchard Core as Antoine did, and tagging it with Orchard Core in the NuGet gallery.
If you think it's good, I'm fine with that. At the same time, it's the package name and not the namespace. Maybe your namespaces you don't want to be this way.
Sure.
That's right, to have .orchard core in your namespace. So maybe explain that it doesn't have to match the namespace and the package ID. Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on how you look at it.
Better.
I think if I'm implementing a Orchard Core module, I think it makes sense. It includes Orchard Core in the namespace.
Seb, can you go to NuGet and type search tag what's it called? Double punt. Colon, not semicolon, but the other one, the double dot.
Colon.
Yeah. Do tag and then Orchard Core.
Yeah. So the new. Yeah, that works. So they have that. They have package ID. They have author. They added that recently with a new search. When they broke everything.
Can't we just show this as and then maybe boost some that we think are actively maintained?
We can have guides for specific things when we need to do something. It's available like having a guide to explain how to add discuss to your blogs. We could do that. That's totally that. And then point to the NuGet package and explain how to use it and things like this. That would totally make sense, right? If it's in terms of boosting some modules to have some visibility, and then people will then be like, oh, there is a package for that, and then oh, there is a package for that, and maybe they will be like, okay, what are all the packages that are available? We could also explain that search term. Yes, definitely. If we have a documentation page that explains how to publish on NuGet, a suggestion to add the Orchard Core tag, and also a search link to find Orchard Core, then people will just follow it for visibility, like SEO, but for their packages.
Yeah, but then then for me a powerful feature would be that it checks the NuGet package, the NuGet package, and sees if it's compatible with the version that you are running. That would be a powerful feature. Yeah,
but that would be your own gallery, and we talked about it. I'm sure I can find a document where I explain all the requirements for that, and that we even talked about running the module in Orchard to be sure that it was working or things like this. So yeah, there's so many things to do. Yeah, but I think we should do the easy things, and then pay for just what we need, what we really need, like piece by piece. So I really like this tag search. That's very good, and at least just light conventions like this, so we can drive people into finding the packages, and then we'll see as we evolve in the number of modules and people care about compatibility and then add more metadata. Maybe we need to add more tags like Orchard Core version 1.0. And you see things like this because we can. So
yeah,
we can abuse the tag system to do that. And to do custom filters. I don't know if they support tag discuss. I can type. This is an OR, but the first one is the one with the two terms. So it's like it works. Can I do a plus? Plus doesn't seem to do what I want to do. But well, maybe we should look at the syntax for that, and maybe we can do some clever stuff like to find only the ones that are compatible with a specific version of Orchard.
I think you have to do a plus without spaces in between.
No, it's not really, not at all.
No.
Or maybe it's plus discuss, something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure it's doable, but yeah.
Okay.
The first step will be to use the tools that exist, and then if we really have the need and the time to do that, then we can work on a custom gallery, but that's a lot of work. Work and maintenance.
Well, I already have the NuGet feed, so.
We have a gallery code base that is pretty, so you know, the story of this thing, actually, this gallery, is that I think we had an DNS issue.
You
or
need to maintain it actively, right? That's work.
Well, at the same time, we haven't touched this source code for years, and it's hosted and it works. And it does nothing. It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, this thing is also just pointing to NuGet packages that you host anywhere on your Dropbox, or like if I click that and I say download, the link here, it should show up. You will see if I click download, super not responsive. I want to download. The download button disappeared. What?
Maybe it's in the menu.
Yeah, because maybe I have that. It's not even the menu.
No.
Okay, so if I click download, we host a file. I thought we didn't host a file. Okay, we host it, but you see that it's uploaded on the media. It's funny. So we have two content items, a package and a package version. Package is that, and version is a thing like this that you can download actually. And when you have a package version, it has a media field, and the media field is the NuGet package. So that's how we build this gallery. And then there is a custom controller to handle the OData query that NuGet has to implement. So it's available as a NuGet feed. We might be able to do the same thing without a NuGet feed, because we don't need to have a NuGet feed per se.
But the NuGet protocol is handy for checking. You can abuse the NuGet version checker.
Well, at least you can use the NuGet.
It detects downgrades and upgrades, but that's really complicated stuff. So if we can offload that to a NuGet package restore.
But yeah, the NuGet protocol is nice also because you can reference the package from your project, and then it will restore it. So that's also something that is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a long time ago for the module provider. I think that you would be able to load in NuGet modules during after deployment.
Okay, 2 months ago, apparently they shipped their packages. But now I want to see their websites, right? Because they build websites.
Oh, Edge?
Yeah. 7 days ago. Peter Keating, Dan what? Dan. Okay, so conclusion, we need a page to talk about how to publish a package, how to name the package, how to add a tag, and how to find Orchard core packages with tags. That's the first step. And then Satiri says, scene core package. Then about the convention to suggest, I will just provide examples because pick the one you want. You can't just start with Orchard core, don't try because it won't work. Then if you want something like that, as long as you have the Orchard core tag, that's the minimum of SEO you can do for your package if you want it to be found easily. Okay?
Yeah, then we could have a link with the search query already defined.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Good discussion. Thank you, Sipke. You can come again when you want.
Thank you.
Then Antoine wants to talk about stuff. You want to show something or just talk?
Yes. Can I
Yes.
share the link?
You can share a link and I can click on it. What is that? That's some documentation, right? I've seen this documentation.
Yes. And it now points to the domain orchardcore.net.
Apparently, Antoine bought a domain during Black Friday. Orchardcore.net, which is a nice domain. So we have the same thing right now under
Under orchardcore.readthedocs.io.
What?
orchardcore.readthedocs.io.
We don't have a site like this? Oh, the old one. Okay. We have the old documentation under that, and we don't have a domain already for the. I thought we had a domain. Okay. So if I go on orchardproject.net and I click on documentation. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. So now this one is a domain. Is it actually the same thing?
Yes.
Cool. So today that is read the docs.
Yes.
Beautiful. And you had to configure it in read the docs and also to point your domain to read the docs.
Yes.
Okay. Good job. So now we can change the links to that. Okay. Docs, okay. And I know the answer. Can I do that?
You can.
HTTPS? No, right?
No HTTPS.
So now if I go there, there is a site. Did you want to talk about it?
You can.
Too late. Too late. So this is the same site as this one, right?
Yes.
But
in Orchard Core.
yeah. And you changed the font? Why? Why it was so beautiful? Why did you break my site?
I used the agency, the latest version of the agency.
Ah, okay. So you say it's better, but because it's the latest version.
Yeah.
Find the receipt. Getting what's different? Find the receipt. Okay, it's smaller. It's weird. It's smaller. It's nice. I mean, so this is the same site with some images and everything. And if I look at the inspect here, it's a static file. You didn't do the full thing.
Not yet.
You cheated. Okay, that's okay. So it's deployed with the site because you just took over everything. That's good. But at least now F12, F5, boom, and boom. It's no more just a static file, a static site. It's the same thing, but in managed in Orchard Core. So we can go to and hack the site.
Now you will get a CAPTCHA.
What?
If he turned it on.
No, there is not, but we can customize the login. Good. Thank you, Antoine. So you took the time and made the effort of converting the site to an Orchard Core site, which make more sense. So we can add more things like a blog here, or release notes and things, and it's crazy. Is it already on Azure website, on a .NET Foundation? No. What?
No.
No. Okay. So I created a site for Antoine to. He's hosting it. And I created a site for him to move it where this site is currently. So now what do we do with the old domain? Because we should keep it for Orchard 1 maybe, and do the Orchard Core only here. There is a link to it. Oh, you also have you copied it too?
Yes.
A liquid page?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a liquid page that contains the code of this static page here. So you copied it too. Interesting. So now we have to think
maybe call it Orchard Classic and not Legacy, but okay. Or something.
Yeah, or maybe not. Yeah, different link. When you're on this site, it has to be a link to this thing, and maybe keep the old domain with orchardproject.net to that, and done. Okay, so Orchard Core should just be about Orchard Core, but maybe this one should be about Orchard 1.
And we will also make try.orchardcore.net.
Yeah, I agree.
What about the Orchard Harvest conference? If we wanted to use a subdomain, would we want to use a subdomain on one of these domains, or would it need its own domain? Would it even be called Harvest?
We can have a page for that. That's it. We don't need a domain or whatever, I think. Right?
Yeah, But would if the page would be a subpage on orchardcore.net, would that imply that the conference is about Orchard Core and no longer about Orchard 1?
Yeah, is that an issue for you to have it on the Orchard Core website?
No, not at all. I'm just wondering if.
Yeah, I think it would be on Orchard Core website. Yes.
Yeah. So, so that also means the conference will be about Orchard Core, which makes sense because it's the latest and greatest. But does it also mean that what does that mean for Orchard Project or Orchard 1? We don't support it, or we don't?
Because of the conference?
Yeah.
So you want the old website not to be jealous, so we create a third one?
No, no, I'm not saying that we should do anything. I'm just asking questions.
So this site is a static site, and so it's hard to add things to it. This one is a CMS site, so we can add things to it easily. So if we need to create some pages or a sub-site or subtenant,
sure, that makes sense.
For Harvest, it will be there. It can be a custom domain.
But then I'm wondering. So we have the Orchard Project.net domain that could, of course, point to the Orchard Core website, the implementation using Orchard Core. But but that doesn't.
I see.
Necessarily dictate the content presented on the website.
Do we want to do a redirection, maybe? So we forget about this domain, at least for the website. And
that, or unless we say, well, it's still the Orchard Project, because the Orchard Project itself doesn't say hey, this is just version 1 or 2, could be 10 versions in the future. It could still be the Orchard Project, but Orchard Core is a reincarnation or re-implementation.
Yeah, because it's the main Orchard Project, just a more generic page explaining what are the different pieces of the story, and a link
for
to
example,
Orchard Core, and then a link to the legacy site, and just okay. Yeah, that
maybe just something to think about.
Okay. So
do you also run it? Oh, sorry. Do you also run it in high availability, the new site, or is it just one instance?
Dude, high availability.
I don't know, because we are looking into it, how to do it.
Because the Orchard Core is so fast. It's so fast. We don't even have caching.
No, but it's not about performance. It's about.
Okay, I see. So no, it's just one instance, and it's using a SQLite database. And.
But is that on the
machines?
On the roadmap?
Yeah, the machines themselves. They are. I mean, I've never seen them down, and we've never had so much load that a machine could be down, or a technical issue that it will make the machine down. So far we don't care really.
Okay, but is it on the roadmap to support it, or does it already support it?
Yeah, it's already supported. You can have SQL Server and 2 instances, and that will work.
And point them to the same database?
Yes, there are customers who do that.
Oh, nice. But how do you manage the data protection keys then? Then do you have to have some kind of storage for that?
So everything is very specific. In this case, for Azure website, the data protection key will be on the same physical shared hard drive. So
you share the drive.
Instances. If tomorrow you want to use a different store, then you will need an Azure Blob store for the data protection keys, an Azure Blob storage for the media, and so on. But so far, it will work. Right now, it will work if you use 2 different.
But it's no support for, let's say we host on Kubernetes. There's no support for config maps or things like that. Native, or am I talking?
So Cherry has a branch that supports lots of module implementations for distributed services, and it was working at some point. I stopped following it, and he stopped working on it because he was waiting for me to.
Yeah, for 3.
But we designed some solutions for stuff, and there is a meeting where I explain that. You should find it and listen to it because you will love it. And
It's on YouTube?
yes,
Okay, good.
I'm sure by looking in a Dojo website you can find, or you ask Antoine. Antoine has all the links.
Okay. I will poke Antoine.
We need to find what meeting we showed that, and we talked about the things we want to do with Redis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the I distributed cache thingy.
That, yeah, not just that. To support,
Yeah, okay,
be able to distribute tenants on different machines, and they are not clones of each other. We can have like a red solution where you will have some tenants on let's say you have 5 nodes. Some tenants will be on 3 of them, some other on 3 other of them, and so on. So if one node fails, then the tenants are automatically redistributed on the existing instances.
Wow.
So a tenant will always have high availability based on the number of nodes you have. What Kubernetes will do with pods, but we will do it ourselves with tenants. So Kubernetes could then handle how to distribute Orchard by itself on new instances, but we, as the Orchard service, will be able to distribute the tenants themselves across the existing machines. And to do that, we will use a Redis group. So every farm of Orchard tenants will be managed by the same Redis group. And that will be a requirement to have a Redis instance to do that. And with that, we can do pub/sub to invalidate all the caches and communicate between every tenant, also to tell every node what tenants are where. And we are even able to route an incoming request that will go on a node that doesn't have a tenant and route it to the correct node that has a tenant. And we also design a way, the solution that will leave a load balancer or proxy to use dynamic maps so they can know where the tenants are and to hit the correct node with the correct tenant they want to access.
But that's that's epic. That's almost like a runtime, yeah.
And that's super easy to implement, and Jean-Thierry made so much effort to support some distributed services like this that there is nothing much more to add to have that. So you should find the meeting where
but still a branch.
It's still a branch, yes. Priorities and availability. That's the issue. That's the issue. But but there are many things working already. He implemented so many things with Redis already and Azure Blob Storage, so you should just look into that.
Yeah, thank you. I think Gabor posted the link.
Gabor, we don't need you anymore, Antoine. Fire. Gabor provides the link. Well, 2 weeks ago I fired Sipke, he's still here. So.
You fired him?
Yeah, I fired
him.
Why was
I'm like a beaten dog.
Oh, because workflow doesn't have input-output in tasks, just the full workflow. So bad.
Terrible.
Okay, so watch this one then.
I keep coming back for these snarky comments.
Thank you.
Just one more of them.
That's why.
You get paid in snarky comments.
I can't say no to those.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, just to say that there is a new domain, orchardcore.net, which is a very nice domain.
Yeah, I really like it.
And the .net.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yeah.
Why is the legacy site not running on Orchard 1?
Well, now it's running. Oh, it was. But what was the issue with that?
Wasn't it a very old implementation and it was hard to maintain?
No. I think I get it. I think it was because we had to move subscriptions and I had a DNS issue or SSL issue. I don't know. There was something with the subscription and I was blocked.
Wasn't that about the gallery?
There was something with the gallery. Maybe at the same time it was the same subscription, so I had to move everything to another subscription, and I could not move things for some reason. I don't know why. So I had to recreate the site. I did a backup, and then I created a static site because it was much faster to do. It's crazy, right? We work in the CMS, and it was faster to build a static site than. But I mean, and we tell people, yeah, if you can use a static site, use a static site, and we did. I mean, so that was fine. So I don't remember, but in the meeting where we explained that, Gabor will find you the links. I won't say Antoine, but Gabor will find the links.
Sorry.
Gabor provides the links now. Yeah. So yeah, it was using Orchard One at the whole site, or maybe it was to have the same. I don't know.
But I really like it because one of the feedbacks we got from developers at our company that documentation was well kind of hard to find, and now orchardcore.net is really cool.
Someone broke it. This link works. Yeah, explaining everything. Thank you, Gabor, for taking all of those. And I explained how we would. This strategy is awesome. This is how Redis clusters work and distribute their keys, their values across nodes of Redis. You should read it. It's beautiful.
I already shared it with my peers.
Watch the video also, because I have a super nice accent and you will understand everything better. Okay, so the question was, don't we? Yes, but now even this page is on Orchard Core, so we can have the legacy, the Orchard One site handled also by Orchard Core, so that's fine. That's not an issue anymore. And have this domain redirect to Orchard Core with on a page. Maybe we can have that redirect on a page that explains the project. Maybe that's really better. So we have just one site to maintain.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah. Sorry, you're saying one site to maintain, or did you mean to say we have the Orchard project website implemented as an Orchard Core using Orchard Core, and it would point to it would have a link to orchardcore.net, where everything related to orchardcore.net is.
Yeah. No, well, when you go to orchardproject.net, we can redirect to orchardcore.net/orchard project and explain what is the Orchard project.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so instead of having this page hosted on orchardproject.net, just do a permanent redirection to that.
Yeah.
Still have all the content we want, but on this unique website.
Mm-hmm.
Just for us to maintain that, to have an easy location to maintain things, to simplify everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's beautiful. Good. Other questions?
Yeah, I have one last question.
Last one. I have a doctor appointment now.
Oh, sorry. The fix for YesSQL with the migration on the document table for Postgres. Any ETA on that, or are you working on it?
Fix? What are you talking about?
Well, there's an issue that when you upgrade the existing installation, you have to add the version table, a version column as a nullable into the document.
Oh, yeah, I think Dean made a PR.
Dean made a PR already.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I saw that and I forgot to commit. Yeah, there was an issue with the SQL for document table from table prefix document table. Because it already contains it, create table builder, so you don't need that prefix. That's the issue. Okay, I'm merging it and I will put it on. I'm merging it. Is it for dev? I will merge it this afternoon and put it on Orchard Core. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you. Feel free to remind me stuff I should do. that I forgot to do. Okay. Other questions?
No, I was allowed one question.
My headset didn't stop working. It's crazy.
Maybe it's because you don't use the microphone of your headset.
Jasmine has some vacation. Since when do you have vacation, Jasmine? You're not
Never.
on the road?
Never.
That's why I thought.
My boss asked me to take 2 weeks, so
You have
I'm
a
going
boss?
to. Yeah.
Okay.
My clients are my boss.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I have a boss.
And it's our checkpoint module.
So next week demo.
I hope so. But at the same time, I don't want to see that. So
I'll give a demo tomorrow. Sebastian won't be there.
that's kind of weird. We make modules, great modules, the best modules. People steal it, then made an independent service based on that, which is kind of awesome. And then they want to make a module to run the outside. What? Yeah.
So this is going to be perfect because basically I uplift Orchard Core workflows into a version that's not dependent on Orchard Core, but then Orchard Core can depend on it, or have a module.
Why don't you make Elsa depend on Orchard Core instead?
Well, the module will be dependent on
No,
Orchard
that's
Core
fine.
framework.
I'm kidding. Okay.
No, once I get it in a good shape, I think you'll like it. I hope you'll like it. We'll see. A lot of work to be done.
Yeah, Bertrand is here. I'm like everything in an e-commerce should be based on a workflow. Like all the input output, like calculate the tax for this item. You send the input is the item, and the output should be the tax. It should be a workflow. So you can, if it's just a script, it's just a script. If it has to be a request, it will do a request. And as long as it's fast, then that's fine. We can have everything being a workflow. We just need to have technical workflows that are not available in the UI like the workflows that the user edits. So we have lots of workflows, but some of them are user workflows. So they appear in the UI, and some of them will appear in the e-commerce section.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what do we think about, because Elsa workflows supports C# typed workflows, which means you can just write a C# class implementing a workflow, but then give the ability to a user to provide a custom implementation using the visual designer. So even if they delete it, you'll still have a fallback implementation of that technical workflow. It's something I was thinking about. Maybe that could work.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's a task for me. So you could just have a task. So in the workflow, you add a task, and if you want some shortcuts, then just add a task, and then you can have a custom task. But I don't know. So you could have a workflow with the task by default, but you could just remove this task and use another one.
But Sipke, did you say you have a workflow step that executes C#?
No, that's
that you can edit C# in, or did you say something else? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. So with Orchard Core, you can design workflows using the visual designer. But with Elsa workflows, you still have that ability, but you can also just write a C# class representing the workflow. So you would define.
Workflow.
You would still use
the. You just. Yeah. So
exactly.
For me, I will not do that personally. I think it should be a task. Your workflow should be a task actually, and then you can create a workflow instance that only has this task. That's what I will do. This way, it's not another concept, and if people don't want this task in their workflow, they can just put something else. Or put something before and after, which we will not be able to do if this was a workflow class.
I'll be watching Elsa. This it piqued my interest.
Okay. Let me check out payment event. Should be a workflow event. Okay. So thanks everyone. See you on Thursday.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.